Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Vanillaraccoon and welcome to a Minecraft Let's Play. Now before we begin, I want to make clear that I am starting to feel under the weather, so if I sound out of it throughout this episode, then that is why. But hey, how are you guys doing, by the way? It's been a little while since I recorded one of these videos for the channel, and I want to get into that later on. But the first thing I want to do with you is I just want to walk around this village because a lot has been going on. Now, although a lot has been going on off camera, so to speak, I've actually been doing all this work on camera over at twitch.tv/Vanillaraccoon. And yes, that is where I'm going to be streaming at from here on out. Now, the reason why is simple. Well, there's actually multiple reasons, but the main reason is simple. At this time, at least, Mixer, formerly known as Beam, has been undergoing some changes, and unfortunately I've been hearing back that some of my viewers have been unable to have access to their account due to these changes, or maybe their pre-existing account wouldn't allow them to chat within the streams, or a few other things that I don't want to go off of, because then that would turn into a classic Uncle's Loy XP rant, so to speak. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, when I stream, I want you guys to have the most that you can get out of that experience. I want you to not only be able to sit down and enjoy it and log into your account, I want you to also be able to engage in conversations with one another aside from just conversing with yours truly. Now, as you just saw, we do have a little bit of a pathway that is leading over there, and we also have some landscaping going on. This used to be a giant glob of land, but I managed to break it down so then we can establish this small pathway that gradually goes upwards, and then obviously we have this that will stray off of the main course, and it goes up this hillside. Now, these structures were not here in the previous episode. That is because, again, I've been doing a lot of work during my live streams over at twitch.tv/Vanillaraccoon, which a link to that can be found right beneath the like and subscribe button. So if you haven't already, feel free to pause this video, make a Twitch account, follow me over there, so that way you'll be notified when I broadcast next, and we can hang out live in the moment. But I've been building these Roman-esque structures. Now, because this transformation job that we're doing here for this village is going to be along the rustic theme, I wanted to do my best to try and make a rustic Roman build. And actually, seeing as how these builds are pretty much the same as what I've done over on the decidedly vanilla server back during season 3, not during their current season upon the recording of this video at least, which is season 4, but during season 3, for those of you who may remember, I was working on a base that was going to be ancient Roman themed. So I do have a Minecraft Let's Build video for this type of build, but it's not going to be rustic themed. It's going to be using various stone resources. So if you want to learn how to build this, then through the power of YouTube cards, one will be appearing in the top right corner of your screen that you can click or tap on, and it will take you to that video. But aside from doing a little bit of a recap and mentioning that I'll be now streaming over at twitch.tv/Vanillaraccoon, I think what I want to do now is begin to gather myself along with the materials and resources that I'm going to need to get my build on, and I'll see you guys in just a little moment. Alright, so I've been awake now for roughly a couple hours, and I'm already starting to feel a lot more sick than I did upon waking up. So I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as I can. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be building an ancient Roman forum. Now, for those of you who have no idea what that is, essentially it's a place where you can have multiple things going on at once. For example, a forum is a place where politicians would speak to the people. It's also where you may have some markets and shops laid out, but it's actually, hold on a second. Nilla made a boo-boo as he was talking on camera. This is such a tedious thing to do. Building on camera, that is. But essentially, it's a place where politicians would speak to the people. It's also where you could have markets and have shops lined up. But any person or persons who were to be tried is also where it would be held at for the public eye to see. Now, I want this to be lengthy. I don't want it to be just in a 5x5 area. That's because generally that's how ancient Roman forms were. But you know what? Let's actually just go ahead and do something like this, and then we can go ahead and go 1 2 3 4, just like that. Now let's go ahead and jump down, take some more shin damage, and since I'm mentioning it now, let's go ahead and just eat some watermelon. Please forgive me, I don't like to eat with my mouth full. And so now let's begin to lay out the foundation for this. So we're actually going to need a little bit more spruce planks than I thought I would. So let's go ahead and quickly run up to the one ancient Roman storage unit and pass by the marvelous build that I had made during my last Mixer live stream. In the event that you would like to learn how to build this, then feel free to let me know down below in the comment section, and I'll do my best to produce a splendid Minecraft Let's Build video of it. And for those of you who are wondering why do we have a piggy wig entrapped within this storage unit, that is because during one of my Twitch live streams, believe it or not, since we are in the second month and that is summer in game, the weather actually corresponds like it does in real life. So we had some pretty severe thunderstorms occurring during recent Twitch live streams, and all but that one little piggy wig got struck by lightning. So yeah, he's the last man standing, so to speak, and I thought, okay, let's do our best to try and preserve his life. I do think Morgan from The Walking Dead once said that all life is precious, and that is actually something I truly believe, both in real life and of course in game. So now let's go ahead and take our dark oak logs and begin to work on, we're gonna have to actually pillar up once more and then add 1 2, and then begin to work on those horizontal support beams. Now if you were to look up ancient Roman forms, you'll see that they have this general U shape or something like that, and they don't really have anything sticking out. However, because we are playing Minecraft, and because well, if you were to have something that looks as bare as this, it's not going to look that too appealing. I mean, maybe someone who truly does live by simplicity more so than I do will look at this and go, oh, that is a beautiful piece of work. But you know, for me at least, it's like, okay, let's go ahead and add some fine prints of detail. So let's go ahead and take some stairs, do something like this. Let's also do that. And I don't want to get into a pattern of placing them around. I don't want to get into the I don't want to start placing them in a certain pattern, is what I'm trying to say. God, I'm really starting to sound out of it because I'm sick and everything. Hopefully you guys aren't catching the flu or whatever it is that's going around, but if you are, then feel free to let me know down below in the comment section what you take or what you do to help you get better from being sick, because I'm really in desperate need of any advice and suggestions at this point, just so I can begin to get back into producing content for your new home for entertainment. But let's go ahead now and take a look here. So essentially what I'm thinking of doing is just letting this be an open space, and eventually down the line, probably when this project is most likely complete, I want to actually let the villagers roam free. I do anticipate on having a lot more iron golems than we do currently, and having it be a lot more lit, as the kids would say, so that way the villagers can roam around freely and safely, most importantly. But I think for now, at least, I'm just going to begin to get my build on off camera and establishing a few more ancient Roman forms, and also prettying this up a little bit more. So I'll see you guys for the third and final act. Uncle Nilla is going to lay down some word of advice for you guys right here and now, alright? In the event that you find yourself getting to be or are sick, then all you gotta do to quickly recover is relax. Step away from the video games, just take a moment to breathe in and then breathe out, and also sleep. Seriously, sleep a lot. Also disregard everything that is currently in my inventory. We're gonna not address the elephant in the room as to what's been going on with that stuff. But yeah, so throughout this episode, I guess you could say, I've been sounding a little bit better. That's up to you guys to let me know down below in the comment section if maybe during the first act I sound completely bad, during the second act I sounded a little bit better, but I think at least during the third and final act here and now, I sound pretty good. I would say maybe 87 to only 112% better than before. But with that all being said, okay, so let's go ahead and begin to recap as to what's been going on off camera. And that looks way too flat. I'm gonna have to fix that off camera. So first things first is that we have a small rustic bridge that's gonna be going over this little riverbed, and I didn't want to overcomplicate the design. I wanted to keep it relatively simple because I don't really want to get too invested in a small project such as transforming an NPC village, and that's because I already actually know what I want to do for the next build project in this series. But we're not going to dwell too much on the future. No, we're not going to project too much into the future, is what I want to say. Now, when it comes to making the ancient Roman rustic form a little bit more detailed, I decided to just go ahead and take some spruce stairs and slabs and throw them into the vertical and horizontal support beam. Also, you may be able to notice that the flooring is a little dented, and that is thanks to just taking some stairs and placing them within it. But we also have a lot of plant life. Now, because this is going to be a rustic themed village, I want there to be as much plant life as possible. Aside from wanting to incorporate as much plant life into my builds and projects as possible, for some reason when I think of a rustic village, or anything rustic to be honest, I imagine a lot of wooden structures, or at least a lot of wooden crates laying around. And the reason why we had this chest sitting on top of the crafting chest table is because when 1.13 comes out, which for those of you who don't know, the techie update along with update aquatic are going to be coming together as one big update, and it's going to be 1.13. so when that comes around, we'll be able to craft our very own spruce wooden trapdoors that will have the bottom texture of spruce doors. So that way then we can actually have a texture that's been seen in a lot of different resource packs finally implemented into the game, and then we can have something that really does look like barrels just sitting around. So when that comes around, we'll be able to make this an official barrel, or at least some type of rustic barrel, to just drop senseless stuff in and never see it once more. Now we have these dark oak trees that are growing, well, that have grown, and actually this is the type of dark oak tree I wanted to grow, whereas these two, I'm gonna have to relocate them to a more suiting place. We're not gonna chop them down and call it a day. That's what a lumberjack does. Lumberjacks have no... They don't care for the trees, you know? We do, at least. You and I, the viewer. We care about the trees. We want to make sure that these trees find a new home in the event that where they grew up at isn't really doing it for them anymore. But let's go ahead and take a quick little walk down here. So aside from having a pathway that leads up to the one ancient Roman rustic form, we also have this pathway that just goes up this slope and then it wraps around through here, and it leads us now to the second ancient Roman rustic form. And I think actually this is my favorite one out of the two so far, only because as you can tell we have a mixture of spruce stairs and slabs thrown into the vertical and horizontal support beams. And I actually did this for this one first, and then I took a step back and looked at this and thought, okay, let's take what we did here, incorporate it into that, and see what comes of it. So this is the very first design, but also we have the spruce stairs just acting as indents, maybe since the forms, like I said in the first act, I think it was the first act, maybe it was the previous one, I can't remember, where I said that forms were essentially a place where politicians would speak to the people, or you would have market shops set up at, or maybe even a person or persons who were being tried would be done so publicly there. But since we're going to pretend that these are little markets, it made sense to have these chests laying about here, and I thought maybe if we use our imagination and pretend that we pick something up that's heavy and we accidentally drop it, it's gonna make a little dent in the flooring. But this is gonna be our little plaza that we're gonna be working on, and we're not gonna be doing this in this episode. I'm gonna be working on the plaza area in the next episode. And so with that being said, I think that is actually enough recapping as to what I did off camera, and if I do say so myself at least, for calling this minor hiatus from YouTube over. Of course it would start to rain on my parade, but seeing as how my little hiatus from YouTube is pretty much over and I'm going to be getting back into producing great quality content for your new home for entertainment, I think that is a good cue to end on. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to drop a like, and if you are new to the channel, then consider subscribing to your new home for entertainment. But do not forget to turn on notifications when subscribing. That way you won't miss a future upload. As always, my name is Vanillaraccoon. You guys have been awesome. I would like to wish you a happy day, and peace out.